What's going on, guys? Broccoli AC here, bringing you guys a deck profile, probably my last deck profile of set 1 and 2. I wanted to bring something to kind of close out of the season, I guess you could say. A deck that I've been playing a lot recently, a deck that's really fun and very anti-meta, and that is Black Nappa. Nappa, of course, shuts down Ginyu, and stage locks a lot of those high energy decks like Krillin and Piccolo, and really forces your opponent to kind of try to win another way since they're always stage locked. I like him. He's a lot of fun. He puts a lot of pressure on the top 3 decks out there, and yeah, it was just really good. Let's just go straight ahead with the profile and go from there. You're most likely going to stay on level 1, so you don't have to worry about things like wall breaker, critical damage effects and whatnot. So level 1 Nappa, you're pretty much going to stay there. There's very few cards in here that gain anger, and if that is the case, you'll go to level 2 Nappa, which is okay. But level 1 Nappa is 4 stages in life for the mastery, and you destroy one of your opponent's allies as immediate effect. That's so good, especially against Ginyu. Level 2, every time you attack or perform an attack, your opponent's MP loses 1 stage, so they're already going to lose a stage regardless. 3 and 4 don't really, let's just skip that for another day. And then, of course, Black Mastery, +1/+1 modifiers. Discard a card, they banish the bottom 2 cards of the life deck, and if you discard a style card, they discard a card from their hand. It's very good if you want to play a little bit defensively when they open up and you have a bad hand. Go straight to the deck. I only ran 1 ally, and that is Vegeta. I love him because of his +2 modifiers, along with the mastery that's +3 on all your physicals. So Nappa alone's hitting up 6 stages and a life just for having Vegeta out. Again, puts a lot of pressure on my opponents. It's really the only ally that I run in this deck, in this version. Setups, gotta run 3 Black Declaration. I think it's really good as a 2 of or 3 of. Gotta at least run 2 because it complements well with the mastery. You ditch it for the mastery, put it in play. I mean, come on, that's a free put in play. Discard effect, your opponent loses a card from their hand and they banish the bottom 2, and you get this card to kind of shuffle back allies, drills, setups, or Dragon Balls. That's a very versatile card. It has 2 endurance, and you can just play it at any time. It's such a good card, especially for like board control. 2 black searching techniques, get rid of their time, get rid of whatever card that they have in their deck that is just a problem card. 2 visiting, don't need to explain. Drills, I ran 2 black smoothness drills. This deck tends to be a little bit more aggressive than the usual black decks of control, so having 3 black smoothness drill I think is a little too much, and having 1 is just not enough. You're gonna want to be able to draw into it, so I think 2 is enough, especially for a more aggressive deck. Also, because I run 2 more other drills, which is Black Radiating Drill. This card is incredibly strong against Namekian and energy decks. Your opponent's energy attacks cost +1 stage to perform. So if you think about it, a lot of the energy attacks out there, Krillin, Piccolo, Red, a lot of decks that require a lot of energies, they have to pay another stage, and you're already stage locking them, so you're going to pretty much put them in a bad position. They're not going to be able to really use too many energy attacks, and really screws them over. Also, whenever your opponent rejuvenates, banish the bottom card of their discard pile. This really screws up Namekian. If you're able to get this out and you're stage locking them, you're doing extra damages, they're going to be banishing stuff, and as a punishment for rejuvenation. So it's very good. Good against Red also, because Red also can rejuvenate a couple cards. So it's just I think a good call, especially if your meta plays a lot of Namekian. It's great. Usually we have like around 3 or 4 Namekian players, and this does damage. So it's awesome. Events: 3 Nappa's Confidence. Another Versatile card, choose a personality in play. That personality loses 4 stages, and if that personality's power level is at 0, you may banish a setup, drill, or ally. This is another way to kind of, again, board control, especially against the control decks who have black power up, Namekian fusions, all of those like really good setups, or drills, even blacksmith drills. You could pay, you could have any personality lose 4 stages. Yourself, your opponent, or your opponent's allies, or your ally. Oftentimes I'd use it on my own Vegeta so I could banish a setup, drill, or ally. It's fine. It's perfect. It's very good. I ran 2 stare downs. Really hard to contemplate between running 2 or 3. I just kind of went for 2 just for this. Like, I could have went for 3, but totally up to you, your build. I ran 2 black foreshadowings. I don't run 3 because I'm not super banishing my opponent's deck, but it does help, especially if I have black, if I'm going against Namekian, if I have like black radiating drill, and if I have black corruption, some of their Dragon Balls, it does a lot of damage. But it's there, it's great, has 3 endurance, gain stages, it's good. I ran 1 Black Scout maneuver. This is probably one of the hardest choices, is to choose how many scouts I should run. It's incredibly good, and it's great for players who have a high knowledge base on the cards and given the situation. But for somebody like me, I'm a little bit more aggro. I don't care really too much what's in your discard pile or vanish zone. I'm trying to just be really more aggressive. Attack, attack, attack. Put a lot of pressure on my opponent, and once in a while I'll call out those staple cards. Shoulder grabs, overtimes, betrayals, everything that I need. Anything that's good at that moment. Disruptive disc. But again, I'm not really looking to kind of have 2 or 3 of these in my deck. I'm looking to be a little bit more aggro. So I mean, depending on the player, you could run 2 or 3, but ain't nobody got time for that. Speaking of time is a warrior's tool. 1, because you can only play 1. Alright, let's go to the physicals. I ran 3 Nappa's Energized Charged. This card is pretty good too. I mean, it's 7 stages and a life, and whenever your opponent's MP changes level this combat, set his power level to 0. This card is very good against Namekian. I think this will be very good in the future against Red. Set 3 has a lot of cards where Red's like level hopping, so once they level hop, they're set to 0. You pretty much stage lock them. For Red or Namekian, they might think twice about leveling up with their anger. This really punishes them for leveling up, so they can't use energies. They really have to be forced to kind of take the damage that you're doing. So Nappa's Energy Charge, very, very good card. Strong, super strong. 3 black defensive burst. This is great because it kind of serves as a physical block technically. 5 life cards in a stage. Your opponent cannot perform physicals for the remainder of combat. Very good card. I think that's a staple for pretty much all black decks. 3 black fistlock from the new set. I like this a lot just because it has 3 endurance. I mean, especially for black, there's only that in black foreshadowing that has 3 endurance, so this is crucial, especially if you're going to take damage. And physical attack damage plus 4 stages, aka 5 stages in a life with a black mastery, or 6 stages plus 6 stages with Vegeta, 7 stages. It could hit really, really big, and that's why I play it. I ran 3 black enraged assaults, 1 endurance, which is pretty good, 4 stages and 4 life cards. It's like a mini interceptor barrage. And then if I hit, I choose a card from opponent's banish zone, search for your opponent's life deck for all copies, and banish them. So it's really, really good for thinning out my opponent's deck. Get rid of all those pesky cards. And the last 2 physical attacks is 2 wall breaker. Namekian is just so good at angering, in those random red decks and not Saiyans, against Vegeta. But yeah, there's so many good decks out there that can kind of rise up to MPPV. You're definitely going to see a lot more MPPV decks in the next set. There's so much more anger gain with orange, black, blue, red especially. So I mean, it's going to be You're going to need stuff like Wall Breaker to kind of stall them for maybe a combat or two. But it's worth, especially in the Namekian matchup, because it's hard for them to deal critical damage. Unless they have like Focus Assault. But other than that, it's good. Physical blocks. 3 black upward dodge. This is amazing. Yeah, I mean, just the extra life cards. Those 4 extra life cards of damage is crazy good. 3 black finger block. Blocks gain 3 stages. Nice and simple. 1 endurance. Well worth it. And then onto the energies. Energy attacks. I ran 3 black Interceptor Barrage. Probably one of my favorite cards in the deck. 5 and 5. And if you hit, banish 3 cards from discard pile. It's amazing. Amazing card right here. A lot of black decks I think should run them. 3 black Energy Web. Kind of serve the same purpose as Black Defensive Burst, just for energy cards. 7 life cards in a stage, which can hit pretty big. And if it hits, your opponent cannot perform energy attacks for the remainder of the combat. It's very good if you don't have them stage locked yet. You know, just pop that off. 3 black captures. This is great against Namekian especially. You know, really just banishes. You know, it's cost 3 stages, 6 life cards in a stage, and if it hits, attach it to your opponent's MP. At the beginning of each turn, your opponent banishes the top card of their life deck, and a banishes card when your opponent deals critical damage. Again, like the Namekian, you know, things like Wall Breaker, Black Capture really hits them hard because they have to worry about these cards and kind of focus on that stuff. And then I ran 1 overpowering attack. I only ran this just because I was like testing it out. I only ran 1 ally in this deck, so I mean, it's really just searching out for that. For Vegeta, if I really want to be aggressive, and you know, if you draw into this early game and get out Vegeta, you'll have a good high chance of stage locking your opponent. And even if you don't, you know, if Vegeta's in your discard pile, scoop it up with overpowering attack. But if they banish Vegeta and you just have this as an attack, it's still pretty solid. I mean, it's two stages for 6 life cards and a stage. It's just a nice regular attack. You know? It's just there. And you know, your opponent thinks that you may have more than 1 Vegeta or more than 1 ally because you're running overpowering attack. So they kind of maybe might call out overpowering attack if you're placing like a black deck or whatever. So it's just there for utility purposes. Energy blocks. Corruption, because banishing Dragon Balls is broke, but not so much in the new set. 3 black adaptation, because again it thins out your opponent's deck. Get sort of, you know, they're good energy blocks. This is really good. And then 3 black swipe. 2 endurance, sorry, and banishes 3 cards from opponent's discard pile. So yeah. That's basically the deck that I ran. Black Nappa, as you can see, is very fun. Just being able to really defend against the top 3. I think that's the best part about it, is that, you know, it's anti-meta, and you know, it's not really top tier, but I would make very strong cases that this could be like this is definitely like a tier 1.5 deck. This and Blue Godku. In my opinion, those 2 are definitely the top 1.5 in set 1 and set 2. Closing it out. Set 3 is going to be extremely, I don't even know, like there's so many decks out there that has a potential to be great. Some that are kind of overhyped and, you know, may not be as good as a lot of people think they would. And maybe, you know, definitely a lot of change in the meta. You know, you may not see Ginyu top as many anymore. Still very relevant. You know, again, you still might not see Black Krillin. Maybe you might see aggro Black Krillin that could level up with all the level changes. You know, with all the new cards. There's so many different types of cards. You know, villains. You know, Turles is looking good. I like Garlic Jr. He's probably my favorite out of the whole 4 that they, you know, showed. But yeah, there's just a lot more variety in the deck, a lot more answers to, I guess, cards that we needed, like setups, Dragon Ball Victory, a lot of more ways to kind of win. So it really tests the deck builders out there to really kind of form the perfect deck I shouldn't say perfect, but the best deck, you know, to be really, you know, aggressive and be able to counter, you know, the right cards at the right time, and just having the, you know, a good build. It's really going to test a lot of people out there, but I'm very excited. Technically the set comes out next week, and I think I'll be going to a draft tournament, and we'll see how that goes, and I'll update you on that. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. I'll definitely be having more videos. Probably going to be doing more deck profiles, player interviews, and matches. So stay tuned. Rate, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I will subscribe right back. And take care, y'all. Peace out and have a good day.